Just Talk Black Show. Disclosure Statement. Disclaimer. The views and opinions shared on the Just Talk Black Show are those of the hosts and guests, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the show, its sponsors, or affiliates. This show is a space for open, honest, and respectful dialogue within the Black community. Some conversations may include sensitive topics, strong language, or personal opinions that are intended to spark thought and encourage positive change. Listener discretion is advised. All guests are responsible for the accuracy of their statements and agree to participate voluntarily. By appearing on the show, guests give permission for their audio, video, and likeness to be recorded and distributed across Just Talk Black's platforms. Let's talk real. Let's talk truth. Let's just talk Black.
We just talk black. You ain't heard about it. Just Talk Black Show with DJ Purpose on Thursday at 7 p.m. Black business. Just talk black. The issues we deal with. Just Talk Black Show. Come and just talk black with DJ Purpose on Thursday at 7 p.m. If you black and in the community, this is where you need to be. Just Talk Black Show. Just talk black. Come and just talk black.
So, hi everyone, and welcome to the Just Talk Black show. If you're tuning in, please subscribe. And today we have a special guest on our show today. Special guest talking about IVF, menopause, and prostate cancer, and many more, and especially with the AI technology. I mean, people, AI technology is moving very fast, rapidly fast nowadays. So this is a black-owned business. It's called We Are Eid, and we're gonna have a CEO on today. The CEO of the company. Wow, what a lady! I've had a conversation with her, and I'm telling you, the knowledge that I've learned by just having a conversation is eye-opener, especially for men, for black men. This is what we need to hear. So today, a special guest is on from. So let me just bring her in, and then I'm gonna let her explain who she is, what she does, and what her company's about.
We Are Eden, reproductive health support for all. The crisis, a £20 billion problem. The scale of the workplace reproductive health crisis in the UK is staggering, affecting millions of workers and costing businesses billions annually, from a study by AXA and the Centre for Enterprise and Business Economics. We Are Eden's solution to this is an AI-powered platform that caters for both male and female needs in reproductive healthcare. Hi.
You all right? How you doing? You good?
Yes, very good, thank you. How are you doing, Asha?
It's good
Welcome,
to
everyone.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. As we was just talking before, we had an excellent talk discussion. So today, I just want you just to introduce who you are and a little bit about your company.
Yeah, sure. My name is Fari. My full name is Farirai. It's a Shona Zimbabwean name. It essentially tells people to like me, which my friends and I always giggle at. It's like my parents knew that I'd be an entrepreneur, right? Because it certainly helps. With the type of work that I do, being able to embody my name. And essentially, I am a British Zimbabwean entrepreneur doing some market creation and you know ideally market share domination work within the reproductive health at work area. With my company, we are Eden. I currently have a team that I'm working with. We're growing the team and we're focused on democratizing reproductive health at work. That means for men and women, 13.5 million who are affected, for whom the workplace is unclear and confusing. They either have absent or no support when it comes to reproductive conditions like prostate issues in men, or varicocele, or testosterone decline. And so the work that we do is ensuring that when it comes to that contact between affected persons and their managers, that can be as fluent and cohesive as possible. So we introduce fluency in workplaces, thereby removing or reducing risk for things like tribunals. We do this through managerial training. We do it through talking to people in workplaces, so introducing fluency there, and also through our technological solution called Policy Pulse, which includes a multi-agent
Yeah.
agentic AI solution where we create the necessary corporate documentation so people in your workplace understand where your organization stands when it comes to reproductive health.
That is wonderful. Thank you for breaking that down. And again, people, if you are watching live, please do subscribe and like so we can get this channel out more and more people can find out about it. Just love the intro that you just gave and the explanation about your company. Going back to your bit about your culture, where you come from, Zimbabwe, can you tell us how do you bring that into your company, We Are Eid? And
Yeah, for sure. So Zimbabwe is an African country, like in Southern Africa, is just above South Africa, right on the map. And so we're part of what people call Ubuntu, and Ubuntu tribes is like South Africa, Zimbabwe, going all the way up to Kenya with a common kind of root language. But the Ubuntu kind of philosophy is I am because we are. So is that kind of communal sense of life. And the way that we apply that philosophy in We're Eden is through powerful storytelling. Even in Zimbabwean culture, there's so much of it growing up. I came to England when I was 13, so I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. You hear stories. They grow you up on these various stories about different characters and also like African proverbs. So you quickly learn how to understand things like respect of elders, etc. But also with that is I guess a first world kind of attitude and understanding that I also have from growing up in England and being a Black British woman, knowing how to navigate certain systemic barriers, understanding that they exist. So I would say the Zimbabwean culture allows me to see the person before the issue, if that makes sense,
yep,
because
that
it
does.
definitely is sociable, but also to go beyond the issue into the solution, because you kind of learn to be solution orientated
Yeah.
in that type of environment.
Okay, so at what moment did you decide to launch We Are Eid, and what gap were you trying to fill?
Yes, we're Eden. We registered in 2023. The journey started kind of late 22, doing some research and understanding the different type of opportunities available and customer conversations so that we would ensure that there was a market. And we decided to launch because it was just clear there's such a silent crisis when it comes to reproductive health care. But certain studies that were done even in 23 by AXA, and the Center for Business and enterprise, and economics showed that it's a 20 billion kind of problem. So through those types of data and just understanding from my own research, speaking to people in my community and wider, conducting focus groups through different kind of networks and communities, we could see that it's a growing issue. And for insurance, over 50 corporate policies don't include reproductive health care. So you can see that it's a systemic issue in healthcare. There's over 750,000 people waiting, and the
Wow.
NHS waitlist, reproductive healthcare is the longest NHS waitlist. So
Yeah.
clear issues across the intersection, which indicate an opportunity.
Okay. Just going quickly over some of the problems, if you could just break it down for somebody who doesn't know. For example, IVF. Can you just give us a little bit about IVF and what it is?
Sure. So IVF is about people who are having difficulty conceiving. So it means in vitro fertilization, and actually it was invented in the United Kingdom. So it's all about having a sperm from a man and an egg from a woman. Um, be put together or make that contact outside of the body in order to become one cell. And that's a cell may be called a zygote or something of that sort, because it's not yet an embryo. It's just a sperm and a cell who have come, a sperm and an egg that have come together. So with IVF, in vitro fertilization, there are stats that, as members of the Black community, we should know. It's not as successful in the Black community, and there are different kind of reasons or factors behind that, and they can include aspects such as understanding egg health and sperm health, but also different aspects to what Black individuals might go through in the healthcare system. So you'd have to know, as a person of Black heritage. We use the term Black, but some might prefer African,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so with IVF, it's definitely about understanding that there are varied success rates,
Yeah.
and particularly, yeah, lower success rates for Black people. So knowing that and preparing for it as well is really important.
Mm. So just a little bit about menopause as well. Can you just, for someone who doesn't understand, so say for example, a guy who doesn't understand menopause, can you just break it down for us, please?
Sure. So with menopause, um, that's all about the female reproductive system insofar as egg production, right?
Yeah.
So when women or girls start to menstruate, that's an indication that their eggs are maturing. To the extent where they can be with child, and perimenopause, which is a life stage before full menopause, um, involves certain symptoms like hormonal fluctuations. It involves maybe feelings of tiredness and lethargy, and different types of symptoms depending on those hormonal fluctuations. And then full menopause can have more severe symptoms that affect the cognitive function. You hear people talking about brain fog.
Yeah.
You hear people talking about, yeah, other kind of different aspects, like even like, uh, they might just not feel up to doing certain things because their bodies essentially are winding down or starting to cease egg production. And a lot of the female reproductive system, including our endocrine system, which is the hormonal pathway similar
Yeah.
to the pathway, is actually geared towards that egg production. So it's a heavy duty system reconfiguration for those of us in IT that happens within the female system. So it's important to understand the symptoms,
Yeah.
um, understand how they might affect people.
Yeah, so just moving on to the prostate cancer, just a little quick brief about prostate cancer, because these are the actual three that I've just given you is affected within the black community? I know there's fibroid as well, which is another one is affected with a lot of people as well. But can you just give us a quick what is prostate cancer?
Sure, yeah. With prostate, that's more so an organ in men. It's within the male reproductive systems, and what happens with prostate, if I'm correct, there can be issues around enlargement, which would then affect, the body function. And so, when there's prostate cancer, it can be difficult to detect, as with many reproductive conditions, because it's organs we can't see. So, a lot of the times we don't learn about them. We don't necessarily maybe understand our bodies enough to be like, actually, if there's a pain there, or maybe I'm having difficulties weeing, or I'm having difficulties doing some, maybe more you know, copulation functions. So it can definitely be the case that we might struggle to detect the symptoms. But what I would say with prostate cancer is that what people do need to know is it can hit early. It's uncommon and rare, but it has happened that men in their 20s pass away because of prostate cancer. So, regularly checking the health of your prostate, either through a referral from your GP to a specialist, or at home test kits.
Yeah.
At Will Eden, through community outreach, we came across the Errol McKellar Foundation, and they have, for example, these prostate cancer at home test kits. So you just want to be proactive, use that patient first model, get to know your body. If you maybe can't afford or don't have access to a full body checkup,
Yeah.
then do the at home test kit, talk to your GP, just be a bit more proactive about understanding your whole body, not just the organs that you can see.
And just to go through, because you're the founder of We Are Eid, just can you go through, like, walk us through some of the early challenges that you had as a black female, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, great question, Asha. I would say um, within the founder space, uh, definitely, like, now, like, it's July 2025, it can be difficult, right, to maybe grow a company. I'm in the intersection of health, in the intersection of business, risk management, and in the intersection of employee benefits. So I would say, as a black founder, we find that some of these spaces are definitely less representation. And with that, it can be that culturally, uh, there can be barriers to being understood and heard in your natural kind of perception of what an issue is. I've had to learn different language. I've had to learn different, like, investment language. I've had to learn different risk management language, different healthcare language. And I would say some of the barriers to that is the way this is communicated can be quite clinical, quite professional. And within the Black community, we tend to have quite a value for warmth. So I found that dealing with these topics and wanting to perhaps receive wisdom and share wisdom is quite different to kind of a clinical or a colder type of knowledge.
And
Um,
just
so
just touching on just touching on that subject there, what you just said. So how do we break the barriers with, because this is like could be a sensitive topic within the black community, like prostate, fibroids, IVF. How do you, like, whereas it's a sensitive topic, how does your company go and deal with those sensitive topics?
sure. So in terms of that, data is a big one.
Yeah.
Data in terms of fibroids, right? Fibroids affect Black women 25% more Sorry, so 25% of Black women have fibroids compared to white women, which is 6%, right?
Yeah.
So data is a big one, but also lived experiences. So, going out into the community, talking to people who've had fibroids, understanding how difficult it has been, for example, for them to access help from the NHS. If they are people of color, Black people, what that journey has been, how long they've had to endure before they were able to access care. So I would say, yes, they are sensitive topics. Talking about family planning, talking about what happens with your friends or family, and if people are familiar with these topics, yes, they are sensitive, but actually there's a bit of an awakening in the well-being space. In as we're an older population, people are more alive to these, but also it's a bit like, um, to use maybe a crude analogy, it's a bit like popping a boil, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Someone might not want to, but you kind of just have to do it. So you just bring
Mm.
it up. You just bring it up and get people to talk about it. It helps when you have a neutral party like myself, particularly within the workplace context, but also just being real about giving examples. Oh, I read this, or I noticed like my friend had this problem.
Yeah.
Um, have you heard about this? So using data and the stories of others helps, but also be bold and just bring it up, bring the topic to the table. Don't worry about people's discomfort.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
So the more we talk about it, the more people get used to it.
So do you actually your company goes into the workplaces, so just for the audience and stuff. So your company goes into these workplace, and how is it done just managers, or is it done in a group environment, or is it done one to one? How is it actually done?
So all of the above apply. It's all dependent on the particular client assignment. We assist companies all the way from tier one banks and large multinational insurance companies who may already have employee resource groups in place and may already do employee assistance programs where they're paying for part or all of people's access to private medical treatment. And so their needs may likely be for managers of high performing teams to learn the right language and the right posture to talk about these topics. And of course, we have the agentic AI solution to help them to do so. So, depending on the client need and assignment and the maturity of this topic in the workplace, we can do managerial training, which we have done. We've engaged, for example, with companies like read.co.uk on client engagements, where we go into client events and talk about these topics to wide groups of people, not just internal, but also externally. So, depending on the type of company it is, there are other companies like multinational insurers who are clients, where it's internal only, and you're actually talking about how colleagues can help each other
Yeah.
around these topics and what those conditions mean. So it really varies on the client, the level of discretion required. We also talk to managers one on one. How do you talk to your employees about this? Some male managers. I've got an example. One guy who didn't really understand menopause correctly. We spoke with him. He was able to have a conversation with his employee, but at the same time, he was able to also talk to his wife at home about menopause. Guy comes back and says, "Actually, you've saved my marriage because I was able to talk to my wife. I was able to understand the
Wow.
symptoms and not take it personal
Yeah.
when she was." Displaying the behavior of someone coping with these really quite physical and heavy symptoms. So I think
Yeah.
understanding the data brings empathy and also manages people's expectations.
And this is why I think it's very important that that you've come on this show, and I just do really appreciate you coming on on the show, and you know you're opening our eyes like to see it from a different point of view, which is wonderful. And this is what we need within the Black community. We need to talk about these sort of topics, 'cause I don't think it's out there enough that we sometimes we shy away from these absolutely topics. Because I've got friends who have suffered with prostate cancer and certain stuff, and sometime of how to talk to them about it, or it could be difficult. So I'm glad that there is a black owned company that goes into the workplace and literally talks to members of staff. And you said you do different sort of ways that you do it one-on-ones. And that's brilliant. And that's what we need. So I really do thank you for coming on the show today, because this is absolutely what we needed. And this is what the Just Talk Black Show is about. It's about giving companies an opportunity to come on and explain what your company do, and to give you that wider audience, so audience out here can actually hear you. So if you've got a company out there, look, we are Ida here today, and it's wonderful to have her. She is explaining and breaking down things and showing us. And I just really thank you again. So just you answered my question actually. What was one of the feedback you received directly from the black man or woman who use your platform? So I know you've got the platform, the AI. Now, how does that actually work with the AI? Can you just give us a quick sort of breakdown of how it sort of works?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a proprietary AI assistant. So the way we have like open source LLMs like ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini, if you use those, what we have is a clinically designed proprietary system which will give you information that is fine tuned. So it's from reputable sources such as the NHS, etc., and your own actual company. If you have any existing documentation around reproductive healthcare, and depending on the package that you use to engage with us, we can craft that documentation for you. So you've got access essentially to uh, an AI agent that answers your questions based on the relevant body of knowledge for your particular company. And for
Wow.
people who work in HR for companies, we're able to give them examples of particular documentation or particular approaches from your peer group. So we're benchmarking your approach and helping you to tailor that. Yeah, they call it reproductive healthcare guides. So we've got an online course, right, which is talking to people about these topics and how they apply in the workplace. And then essentially the AI assistant helps you if you have questions about the course, and it helps
Yeah.
you if you have questions more broadly on this topic. And then our training and in-person uh, deliverable or pillar then builds on each of these to say, actually, you may have documentation or you may now be interested. This is how this topic is relevant for your workplace. So through our research and speaking to over 100 people kind of face to face, and we've got over like 2,400 views of our webinars on LinkedIn. So we've
Wow.
gone deep, we've spoken to several people, some of them clinicians, some of them HR directors, managers, CEOs of like global companies.
Wow.
We've understood the right type of customer journey to fulfill on this, so we close all the gaps. So that's what it is. Technology, the AI-based agentic AI, is that friend in your pocket that's going to tell you, okay, this is how you talk to Susan on your team about menopause, and if you need a bit more assistance, you're either going to enroll on the course or you're going to speak to myself or one of the We Are Eden consultants.
So is it web-based, or is it an app, or is it both? Is it web and app, or is it just web? Which one is it? Is it both? And how
Is
would they actually find it?
Sure. It's web and app based. So Policy Pulse at the moment, we've got an AI and machine learning lead at We're Eden named Namdi Odozi, who's built the using first principles, kind of built it from scratch. So when you come into our environment, you do not need to have security concerns because we built it all from scratch. So you're not, exposing yourself to an open source LLM who might be eating your data or whatever the case is. So we've got this proprietary AI agent. It's available today on a web app. That web app, you can use it both on desktop or mobile.
Yeah.
We're not yet on iOS or the Android store, because we're at the stage where we're dealing particularly with our clients and getting their feedback as well. But definitely, if you're interested to try out the technology, reach out to myself. We can give you a walkthrough, we can give you a demo, we can give you access as well, so you could maybe have a play on there. But the technology exists. We've got examples, we've got testimonials. So those are available if you wanted to have a look. Just reach out.
Yeah, that is like AI, as I said, saying AI people it's a different ball game. It's moving very fast, and you know it's good to see a black company using AI, because there's a lot of people is afraid to use AI nowadays, and I think for us to really advance and go forward, I think AI needs to be implemented in a lot of black business, which I think which your company's doing, which is absolutely amazing. Just going back to like the menopause and the fibroids and stuff, what's one of the things in our community um, that is overlooked, would you say, within the black community when it comes down to those like IVF, menopause, prostate cancer? What would you say is overlooked in our community?
I would say a big thing that's overlooked, if we start with fibroids, is, that stat that we spoke about regarding, it's 25% Black women compared to white women who have fibroids. So it's the fact that it's very prevalent. But within that, I would say the fact that it is reversible is also a factor. And I think it's because medicine has progressed. So I have clients who, because they had uterine fibroids, they then did not go on to have children, and their marriages went on to break down, which can happen because childbearing and child rearing can be
Yeah,
a big factor in that marriage kind of situation. However, what I would say as well is, what we overlook is awareness. What we overlook is telling our young women and girls about fibroids, having them get checked, having them understand if they have it, what they can do about it. As well, I think culturally, we know that, even from certain regions in Africa, it might be more prevalent and things of that nature. So what's overlooked is what we can do about it, right? Speak to your GP, speak to experts. If you want the fibroids removed, do so. And some people also go on to get pregnant, but
yeah,
factor.
yeah. Okay. And how can the black workplace better support employees facing their health challenges? So within a black business, how can, they support, and how can they support them and help?
Sure. I would say, depending on how we position ourselves as, a black business, right? It's around your giving employees and, to an extent, your ecosystem access to this information. You can do so through championing foundations who are doing work in this space. You can do so more directly by having a workplace document, such as a healthcare, reproductive healthcare guide. What I should say is that certain, even Black workplaces may think it's optional, but what they need to understand is, there are laws such as the Equality Act and the Health and Safety Act. So there are minimum things that your employee can ask for. And you would need to understand that and have a response within the law, so you don't expose yourself to tribunals. So I'd say certainly for Black workplaces, or Black owned or Black led businesses, is to understand that these issues affect our community more. And so having a reproductive health at work guide in your organization, and even publishing it on your website where possible can attract more Black talent. It can attract more Black women, and conversely, can also attract more Black men, because some women do know these conditions affect them more, or affect people of their community more. So you showing that you're providing support in the minimum thing, which is a document. It's not necessarily you paying for a really expensive benefit. It's a
Yeah.
document, right? A policy document. This can be a really powerful signal that as a Black business, you are championing, attracting and retaining Black talent through catering for an area that affects them more so than other backgrounds.
Wow, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to quickly go for advertisement break. This is where we literally showcase Black-owned businesses. Now, if you would like to get your business on this show, you can go onto Instagram and find me as Asher Lingard, which is Asher, and then Lingard is Lingard. And you can find me, and there's posters there. Literally, you will find my number on there that you can give me a call, and to get your your show, or no, not your show, your company advertised on Just Talk Black Show. So
You like gospel music?
Go to gtracks.net.
You play gospel music?
Go to gtracks.net.
You create gospel music?
Go to gtracks.net. What are you waiting for? Go to gtracks.net. Globally great gospel.
Buy your gospel music on gtracks.net, where the artists get the lion's share.
Yo, got a Black-owned business. It's time to shine with Just Talk Black Show. This is Just Talk Black, where we speak truth that lift the Black community. Advertise your brand on the Just Talk Black Show. Make it loud, make it bold. Call DJ Purpose, let the story unfold. On that 0747153953. This is Just Talk Black Show. Your business, Just Talk Black Show.
So that was some of the companies advertised. As I was saying to you, it's literally, if you do want to get it on, I'll just explain, give me a call and we will advertise your business on this show. So, you know, we're also looking for a host. So if you are a host, a podcast host, and you literally want to come on and you want to do what I'm doing, interviewing and deepen into discussions, because we will be going into discussions, not today, but we will be opening a phone line where we can speak about certain topics that are affecting the Black community. So I'm going to bring back the CEO of We Are Eid. So let me just bring her in. But before I actually bring her in, I want to bring this picture in. So this is a picture. Can you explain what this picture and who is in this picture and what that award is?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Asher and everyone. Yeah, so here is myself and my colleague Namdi Adozi, who I mentioned, who's built our multi-agent agentic AI solution. So this was actually taken last week Thursday, and it was quite a big moment for us at We're Eden. We were recognized at the London Market Forum Awards for a highly commended trophy, which is essentially their way of demonstrating that they can see the value of the work that we're doing, and signaling to the specialist insurance markets that we are a company of choice for them. So it's a big deal because we're a growing business, and I've got a 13-year background in the insurance industry, and Namdi even longer than myself. So being able to be in the room with these decision makers of these global insurance companies, and also being awarded this trophy is a strong signal about the support, and one could say perhaps indicative embrace from that community, and the wider insurance market. So it's certainly a bit of a homecoming moment, I think, for both Namdi and I, who've had such a focus on Where Eden, that we might have felt, a couple of hops away from the insurance industry. So this felt like a lovely welcome home from them.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm really happy that to see that you got that award there. So just advice. What advice would you give for aspiring black entrepreneur in the health tech? And what would be your top piece of advice for them to find investment and a mentor?
Sure. So a value of mine, which is also a value within Where Eden, is resilience. I say resilience because if you go from kind of Black culture and leading through wholeness, leading through wanting to support community in sectors such as healthcare, in sectors even such as financial services, be it insurance or banking. The approach can be maybe more clinical, and maybe more hard facts, and very much more kind of knowledge based. So that's quite a different approach, I would say, to what we need as a healing people in the Black community. So my advice would be learn to code switch. Definitely understanding of reading the room. So learn the language, learn the healthcare language, and be able to bring that across. Learn the financial services language, and bring that across. It takes immersion. So go to the rooms where these things are happening. Um, when I started in my insurance career, people used to be very popular to say half of success is showing up, right? So definitely carve out the time, be in the room, speak to people. Um, every no is supposed to bring you closer to the right yes.
Yeah.
And having the mindset that I will get into the right room,
And
and for
having
me
a
to,
mindset is very important. I think what you just touched on that topic of having the right mindset, I think in any business that you do, having the right mindset, I think that's a very good topic that you've just touched on that, and when you're saying having the right mindset, so for an entrepreneur like yourself who started this company, how do you do like self-care? Because you just touched on that topic and I just wanted to really, really just go into that part of the self-care.
yeah, for sure. Self care, definitely. I think the first thing for entrepreneurs is it is about mindset. It's definitely about knowing knowing who you are in a space, including inside your own head. So self compassion as well. You might make mistakes, you might get it wrong, etc. And it's about failing forward, fail
Yeah.
fast and
Yeah.
fail forward.
Yeah.
But then also physically, it's about nourishment, taking extra care. I definitely support plant-based nutrition a lot, particularly when I'm very busy. A strong advocate for smoothies with the fruits,
Yeah.
have them with the
Yeah.
skin on. Some people, it might be perplexing and jarring, but you can have bananas in your smoothies with the skin on. You can have pineapples in your smoothies with the skin on, and that fruit skin has, certainly healing properties. So say nourish yourself, take extra care to get the right nutrients, pay attention to your diet. Taste is not an indicator of nutritional value. So eat
Mm.
green things,
Yep.
eat black things like
Yep.
blueberries. It's very good for the brain, particularly when you're really busy. Eat black things, eat green things. Yeah, and rest. Yeah.
It's important. Definitely a rest, and definitely I've started myself actually to juice a lot. So juicing is to me, it really does help as an entrepreneur and give you that extra energy. And as you said, eating with the skin on the fruits and stuff. I think that is very important. I just really want to thank you for today, for really opening up our eyes and coming on this show and the knowledge that you have, showing us today and the insight into your company. So the final question, which I always ask everybody on my show who comes on my show, this is I mean, literally everybody I'm coming on my show has to answer this question because I think it's one of the questions that need to be put out there. So it'll be, what legacy do you hope? No, it's not that one. Is there any Black legacy person who inspires you in life and why?
Yeah, sure. There are so many. Definitely, I come as one, but I stand as a thousand. And I stand on the shoulders of many great men and women. So certainly, I do have role models and people who their stories have informed my path. And I would say both men and women, right? Because that balance is certainly required. So to say, there's Dr. Charles Drew, who was an innovator in healthcare and particularly around blood banking. And he came up around the time when there were even more challenges around racial discrimination.
Mm.
So his ability to champion innovation during a time that was even more tenuous and more difficult for people of color is such a strong example. And one maybe more current is Emma Gredd, who we might know, this firehouse British lady who's done so many businesses, and she's like in her early 40s, most notably Good American and then Skims, both of course Kardashian partnerships, but then that's just business strategy, right? Partner with the right people, and your business will likely be incredibly profitable. Is one of the things that I take as a large lesson from her. Yeah, so those are two that I would mention.
Oh, that's wonderful. And if anybody wanted to find you, how can they find you? What social media are you on? And I know you've said about your company, but also just to remind the audience out there about to find the app, and also if you've got a website.
Yes, so we're online. We've got a website, www.we-r-eden, as in at the beginning of time, we were in the Garden of Eden. weareeden.com. And then you can find me, full name Farirai Gora. My most active social media platform is LinkedIn. Um, to find me on LinkedIn, follow or drop a message if you want to connect. You can also find me on Instagram, also by the same name, Farirai Gora. The company We Are Eden is on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. So definitely, we're interested to connect, have a conversation, see what your viewpoints are on reproductive health. Definitely keen to engage the Black community and wider, diverse communities as well, because these are topics that should be becoming normalized. We should be talking about prostate the way we talk about headache. It's still a bodily organ, it deserves as much attention. So we're all about fluency in these health conditions and life stages.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for coming on the show, on the Just Talk Black show. It's important, as I said, to have you on the show. So please do support. So that was the CEO from We Are Eden. You know, this is what is important. These sort of topics, these sort of discussions, and company that are coming in to the show that is opening up our eyes to wider stuff that, you know, sometimes as black men, when it comes down to, you know, IVF or menopause, you know, it's just opened up my eyes today. So please support her, you know, please do support her. And also please support this show by subscribing and liking the channel as well, because this what will help to push the channel out there. And remember, tell a friend, tell a family about the Just Talk Black show. So I was saying we are going to be opening soon, in the soon coming weeks. We are going to literally be having discussions about issues within the black community. We would have more guests on the show. Remember, next week we've got a special guest as well. So she's also a singer and she does painting as well. I mean, some of her painting, wow, wow, wow. But again, thank you. I just want to thank you all for supporting me today and coming on and hitting that like button. And remember, we're here every Thursday 7 o'clock. We're here. So please, as I'm going to say again, hit that subscribe button and that like. And just thank you guys for supporting me today. Really do appreciate that. Without you guys, wouldn't be doing this. So remember, tell a friend, tell your family, the Just Talk Black show.
Big love to everyone tuning in, to every voice, every vibe, every black soul shining. This one's for you. Thank you for riding with the Just Talk Black show. We started with a mic and a dream. Now your love makes the vision beam. Every like, every share, every view means the world we honor you. You stay locked in week by week, giving power to the words we speak. This is more than a show, it's truth. So we give this back to you. Thank you for the love, yeah, we feel that vibe. Feel that vibe, feel that vibe. You lift us up and keep us alive. Stay alive, stay alive. From the heart of the block to the global flow. Let them know. Thank you for riding with Just Talk Black show. Big respect to the fam who stayed through the laughs, the tears, the moves we made. You are the reason we grow and glow. Thank you for tuning to Just Talk Black show. We talk black, we talk bold, but it's you that keeps the story told. When you comment, call in and vibe, you bring this whole thing to life. From black businesses to rising stars, we're shining bright cause you play your part. No matter where you're watching from, you are the heartbeat of this drum. Honey, cover strength for the love.